Welcome to Next Level Finances. Do you find yourself living from paycheck to paycheck at the end of the month? No matter how much you're earning, or maybe you're not having problems with money at the moment, there's still a big chance you're not managing your finances better. The good news is there's room for improvement. By watching this video, you'll learn how to manage your money better. Good financial management will prevent you from unnecessary headaches in the short term, but in the long term, it will help you reach your goal of increasing your wealth. Your financial skills will improve the quality of your life in many ways. One of the benefits of good financial skills is a better credit rating. A good credit rating will help you get accepted for important loans and mortgages in the future. You'll also have no overhead debt at the end of the month. Instead, you'll have more of your paycheck left that you can set aside as savings or investment. It's time to level up your financial skills with our 10 financial management tips to increase your wealth. Create a monthly budget and live on it. This is the most essential tip, and it's almost a reminder. Unfortunately, only a handful of people are living on a budget. It's not just because the numbers are boring to most people, but the truth is it's painful to leave some of the things we are used to doing. This is the reason why most of us try to avoid this. While it's not entirely fun doing this, this is one block that you need to get rid of if you want to improve your life. Likewise, you'll begin to see most of your financial worries disappear. Creating a monthly budget is not rocket science. The best way to start is to create a snapshot of the money that's coming in and going out. This is how you make a monthly budget. Get a piece of paper, but we highly recommend a notebook. Divide the pages into two parts. On the left side, write the money that's coming in, your income. On the right side, write down the amount that's going out, your expenses. This includes household bills, essential items, food, and other living costs such as car expenses, vacations, entertainment, restaurants, subscriptions, payment for debts, insurance, etc. Also, set a budget for savings and emergency fund. Make sure both sides of your created budget adds up to the same amount. Or, even better, if the income side is more than the expenses side. Creating a monthly budget will help you determine where your money goes. So if your expenses are bigger than your income, it'll be easier to figure out which places to start cutting the costs down. On the other hand, if your income is bigger than your expenses, you can add more amount to your savings, or you can increase a little bit on something that you need. Once you finish creating a budget, the most important thing is to implement it. Use it as a guide to your monthly spending and do everything you can to avoid overspending. On the other hand, don't be too harsh on yourself. A little bit off target on your first month is natural. You'll do bigger improvements as time goes by. Lastly, you'll find yourself being realistic with your expenses, and living on a budget should come naturally. Consider your budget before you spend. Are you thinking about going on an expensive vacation? Or you might want a new laptop, maybe a new smartphone would be nice, or an extravagant gift. Even if you have the money in the bank, don't make compulsive decisions just yet. You have to remember that the money in your bank account is intended for your basic living expenses. Always go back to your budget to see if you can justify the spending decision based on its category. For example, if you want to book an expensive vacation, make sure that the budget you created for your leisure can cover it. However, if it doesn't and you decide to push through, you'll compromise your whole budget. Instead of paying for it at the end of the month, we recommend you save up for it. Make sure to include the amount in your monthly budget. Be specific with how much you want to save each month and how long will it take for you to come up with the exact amount. Interestingly, while you're saving, you'll realize you don't want it that much after all. Don't ignore the small costs. Never underestimate the small expenses. Usually, it's the smaller costs that creep up the most debt when the paycheck comes. Oftentimes, these expenses come from birthday presents or a few cups of coffee here and there. These small costs add up, and they are always the culprit when people say, "I don't know where my money went this month." If this happens to you regularly, I recommend you write them in a journal. But if you want to refer to your monthly budget, everything should be placed according to their category. On the other hand, if you find your spending habit blowing off your entire month's budget over something expensive, it's time to make some quick changes. Make sure to track your spending so you can cut down on the things that you don't need. Control your debt. If you can avoid debt, it'll be better for you. But if you have outstanding credit card debts, avoid picking on new ones. Credit card debts have high interest rates. Are you having a hard time paying them off? You'll be better without them. Here's how you can control your credit card debts. Ditch them if you can. Create a schedule for your debt payments and pay them on time. Shorten the time of your payment completion to reduce the interest. Make a list of your debts and pay off the ones that have the highest interest rates. Limit your monthly subscriptions. Do you have monthly subscriptions? You need to track them down and limit them. Take, for example, inactive gym subscriptions or purchases that you can't use immediately. Keep in mind that most businesses make a profit because of subscription-based business models. This is because customers don't mind the small purchases they unnecessarily pay for every month. However, small amounts add up and they will eat away your earnings when your paycheck arrives. Set up an emergency fund. Always set aside a good amount of money for the unexpected, since you'll never know when you might need it. For example, unexpected repairs for your car or your house, a piece of equipment that needs to get fixed, or emergency medical expenses can happen anytime. If you don't have an emergency fund, you'll start taking away from budgets for other living expenses. Make sure you have an emergency fund on your budget every month and only use the money in a real emergency. Establish a monthly savings goal. Our goal is to increase our wealth. Keeping money in the bank isn't going to help you with your savings goals. The key is to keep your savings in a separate savings account. Have you heard of the saying, "Make your money work for you"? This is a much better option. You can do this by investing in bonds, stocks, or real estate. The good thing about these investments is you can't buy them without a disposable income that comes in a form of savings. This is why it's important to have a monthly savings goal in your budget. The best thing about having a savings goal is it's a good motivator to save. Just imagine having the exact amount of money you want to invest at the end of the month and the amount of wealth it'll bring to you in the long term. This will prevent you from making unnecessary purchases. Savings accounts have more interest rates than bank accounts, but they're still very small in comparison to the benefit they will give you. And the best thing of all, they will go where they're intended. Check before you spend. Technology is changing everything. One of the best things they offer that can help with your personal finance management skills is you can check and compare prices using apps and websites. Here are some of the best price comparison apps today. Google Shopping, Shopping.com, Camel by Amazon. But be advised that the prices could differ a little bit depending on your location. Personal finance apps. If creating a budget on paper is hard for you, using personal finance apps will help you organize your budget. The good thing about apps is they will make the work a lot easier. Two of the best personal finance apps that you can try for free are Mint and MoneyStrands. Personal finance apps will display everything you need to know, like account balances and transactions. They will also help you track your spending so you can stick to your budget, keep you updated with your upcoming bills and your investment portfolio. Keep improving. If you feel you're a beginner at managing your finances, don't let that discourage you from improving. Remember, every master was once a beginner. That saying goes well even with personal financial management. If you want to improve, there are available courses on personal finance. They are a great investment for your future. Luckily, there are free and paid online courses for these topics. Free or paid, these courses share valuable advice on how to manage your money better. Better money management isn't rocket science. All you need are a few tools, some simple tips, and discipline. Remember, when it comes to finances, don't just think about what you want. Oftentimes, saving money for the rainy days is the best choice to take. However, doing this as early as possible will help you establish yourself for success in the long run. Even better, you'll reap the fruits of your labor later in life even without working for them. So start better money management today and increase your wealth for the future. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again in our next video to help you take your finances to the next level.